Hello everyone. As we getting started for this evening, I just want to share with you I have my wonderful mug here. And those of you who don't know, I love my mugs with my saying. So if you have a mug that is your favorite that have a saying on it, hit me down in the comment section. Let me know what you got. Let's share our mugs. I don't have a gospel t-shirt on tonight. As some of you may have known and been mentioning to me that I do love my gospel t-shirts. So if you have a favorite gospel t-shirt that you like to wear, throw it down in the comment section. Let us know what your favorite t-shirt is and what it is saying, and to keep us encouraged. But as I said, I love my mugs. I love my mugs. I'm always trying to find something different. This one was given to me by a co-worker. And it says, I don't get with a word of encouragement. And I just want to tell everybody, hello, good evening, how are you? I know it's getting late in the hour, but as I said earlier, we're going to be coming on a little bit later to give all my single moms and hardworking women out there a chance to come home, relax, and lay down and get themselves together after putting the children to bed, putting the husbands to bed, putting the boyfriends to bed, whatever you're doing. But to give you a chance to come and lay down and join me for a wonderful word of encouragement on tonight. So as I said, if you have a favorite coffee mug, like I do, I have a favorite one. I'm kind of starting a collection this year of mugs. So if you have a favorite one, put it down in the comment section, one that you love to share, and let us know what you're saying on there. Well, tonight we're going to jump right in. I'm kind of talking about one of my favorite subjects that I really enjoy. You know, I have this wonderful, awesome sister. She is awesome. We live in two different states, so we don't get to see each other as much as we would like to. But she is like the best big sister you can ever have. And we see and talk probably with each other more than anything. So I love my sister dearly. She's the coolest person. She's my best friend. We don't get to hang out as much, but when we do, we're kind of this crazy duo together. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And that's our segue in. We're talking about sisters to sister relationships. So if you have a sister out there and you're listening on tonight, put it down in the comment buttons and let us know who your sister is, and let us know how wonderful and great she is to you. And as I said, we're talking about sister relationships on tonight, which is awesome. And they start out from when we were little girls and we were young, and you got that sister, and then all the time wasn't always cool, but it was, you had someone to play with, the doll babies with, you had someone to talk to, and you guys may have played at school. Like my grandbabies, I have 6 grandgirls running from ages 6, 7, and 9. And they were over here today, and we were in here just laughing at them because they came in and got my heels on, and they're dressing up and thing. Because as the big sister, she's telling the youngest one, you know, I'm the oldest, and you got to do what I say do. And, you know, as we're growing up, and at that age, it's so precious to see them together, and they're doing so much together as sisters. But as they get a little bit older, they get into the adolescence age. And when we get to that adolescence age, that's when we get our own friends, and we're hanging out with our own people. And, you know, even though we're going to the same school with our sisters, sometimes we pretend that we are not interested in them. We pretend that we don't even have sisters. A lot of times, you know, when I was in school, people didn't even know I had a sister when we were in high school. They were shocked to find out that I had a sister because we're just two opposites. At that time, we were just two different people. You can sneak in there and wear their clothes without them knowing. You can put on their shoes without them knowing. And by the time they get home, they didn't know you have it on. And that is the wonderful, awesome thing about having a sister. A lot of us learned a lot, especially if we're younger, since I'm the baby, my sister's the oldest. But a lot of you out there that may be babies and not the oldest, throw some comments down there. If you're the youngest and not the oldest, but you know, the oldest ones, you know, they're the ones who maybe taught some of us how to wear makeup, maybe taught you how to wear your heels, how to fix your hair. A lot of times those big sisters, we learned a lot from them. We you know, they teach us a lot. And even the younger ones sometimes teach the older ones a lot. And those relationships are so awesome. And this month we've been talking about relationships. So I wanted to talk about the sister relationship tonight, and how important it is to have that sister relationship. How awesome it is if you have a sister and to keep that bond going, even though you may be in a different state or sister time and sister bonding. And that relationship is so very important if you have sisters. Some of you may have more than one sister. You may have 3 and 4 sisters. And it's important, and within that, even that dynamic relationship, you may not have got along with all, or maybe one of your sisters, if you got a couple that you really got along with, and it's okay. But, with those other sister relationships, it's important to kind of build that bond together. Because, having a sister is awesome. There's a lot of women out there don't have sisters. There's some out there just grew up in a house full of brothers. Could you imagine growing up in a house full of brothers? It drives you crazy. That's my daughter. My daughter, she is the only one. She has 3 brothers. So she doesn't have a sister. So she's grown up in a house with boys. And I've seen the times it does get rough because you don't have that sister to play with. And that sister to sit down and comb the baby doll's hair and teach you how to braid the baby's hair. And some of the things that they did as sisters, and they were twins, so that even made it kind of hard because being twins is not easy when it comes to being sisters. So the show was funny, it was awesome, it was a wonderful show, but it was a good show because it showed African American women, and it showed the sisterhood and togetherness, their ups and downs and things that they might have gone through as sisters. So that sister relationship is so important. Now, I do know, and I'm not taking it hard, that some of you out there, your sister relationship may be tainted. And it may be, not the way you would like it to be. And that is okay. What we here do at Transformation, we're here to transform your lives and let you kind of get to the root of the problem and get to peel back the onion, that really find out what really is the problem if you have one of those tainted sister relationships. When you go to the family reunion, you get a chance to tell your sister, I'm sorry. You didn't get a chance to tell your sister, I love you. As the old people say, give me my flowers while I'm alive. And sometimes we have to learn to be the bigger one in the situation. And sometimes we have to really take a hard look at what caused the relationship to be tainted. What was it? Someone has to step back and try to dig deeper to find out why me and my sister are not talking and why we don't have this strong bond as sisters. What happened to break that bond? And when you begin to do that, you begin to dig a little deeper, then you begin to find out what the problem is. Now you have a tool to use to be able to work with, to mend that relationship, because that is so important. Sometimes we don't want to be honest. We don't be in the family. Sisters are not talking to sisters. They could live down the same street, 3 houses down from each other, and they don't even communicate because the Big Mama was there to keep the family dynamics together. But Big Mama's not here anymore, and we need to dig deeper to find out, okay, why are 2 sisters bumping heads? What is the reason why? What has caused that? So sometimes you have to take an honest look at what is your accountability and what is your contribution of why your relationship with your sister is not the way that God wants it to be, together in a harmony and peace. And what the conflict is, what has caused the conflict. So sometimes, a lot of it is our expectations. Sometimes we expect something from them that they can't give us. We come with these big expectations, and when people can't meet up to your expectations, then we're hurt, we feel defeated, and then we get angry and get bitter. So a lot of times your expectations is too high. You may have expectation of bitterness. You're still here holding whatever the conflict or issue was. You're holding on to that, expecting them to come back and apologize, and it would never happen. So that is when you have to really give it over to God, and you got to let God do what God knows how to do, and let Him begin to mend the division and the hurtness and the pain. So even with your sister relationship, allow God to mend whatever it is that has caused the division between you guys, because a house that is divided cannot stand. And even though you're not in the same house, you're in the same family, you're in the same bloodline. And whatever is keeping you guys apart is something that is not worth life or death. It's not worth losing your sister in the process. And as I said, and then when they pass away, you're the one at the funeral that everybody got to hold down, because you finally realize what we were fighting and arguing about for over 30 years, because I want my sister back. I remember when we were little and we did all these things. Now we're 30 and 40 years old. We can't stand each other. We can't even be in the room with each other without bodyguards. That's not good. So you got to begin to pray and seek God for help. to say, you know, Lord, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be transparent. It was my fault. Or, yes, my sister did this wrong to me, but I forgive her because I need to forgive in order to move on and live my life. And you have to deal with her and with where she's at the moment. But I still love her. I still want to. That's my sister. I still got her back if something happens. We're still family. You know, so that is something that we really have to be honest with ourselves and be transparent. When you're in a situation relationship with your sister that is not a good one, it's a little tank what you didn't. Maybe something smaller, changing the whole subject and talking about what they like to do and what they enjoy doing. Those things are important. So that's one step that you can take, is to help mend that relationship, is just to start with something small and simple, and build on that and see how that works with your relationship. Another way you can help with that is avoid the argument. I always say a person cannot argue with themselves. They can continue to argue, and as long as you're quiet, and a lot of times we don't realize it, is that quietness is your best defense. Silence is your best defense when it comes to an argument, because that person can't continue to argue with themselves if you're not saying anything back. They're going to get mad and wonder why you're not talking, but that's your best defense, is not to say anything. Let them talk. And another thing you can try to do is imagine that that person, your sister, is a stranger. How would you treat a stranger in that same situation? You know, would you treat them the same? Excuse me, I'm catching a cold here. Woo. But would you treat them the same way, a stranger, the same way that you're treating your sister? You know, kind of examine those avenues to help you. But the biggest thing is to really find out what is the root problem, what is the root issue of why we have this tainted relationship, and let's see how we can mend that. Because we don't want to go through the next year not speaking to each other. We're sisters, you know, not calling each other, not seeing each other, because we know we got so many stories to tell each other, but we're so stubborn and stuck in our ways that we don't want to pick up the phone and say, hey girl, you know you got a nephew, your sister, because sisters, because we all need each other. We all need each other. That is so important. So I just came on just to encourage you tonight, before you go to bed and lay down at night, to take a deep breath. Allow God to minister His word to you. Allow God to encourage you with His word. And if you're in a relationship and that's not good with your sister, maybe before you go to bed tonight, maybe you be the one to start the process and pick up the phone, ask for forgiveness, pick up the phone and just say I love you, pick up the phone and just say I miss you. And if you can't say it right now, buy a card. Buy a card. A card doesn't cost much. You know, we want to text everything now, and sometimes text messages are not great. But go to the store and pick up a card and send her a card and let her know, you know, that you miss her, especially if she's someone that's not in the same town that you are and you're in different towns. So as we say, you know, here in the current bedtime encouragement, as we're encouraging you, you know, as you go down and lay down to sleep, throw me some lights. Let me know how encouraging you are, how your sister relationship is. Hey, Connie, good to see you.